YouTubers, welcome to PDINA Royally Teachable Moments. And we've got a doozy today. Well, I just want to backtrack on something just to pinpoint it just a little bit. So, you know, this whole thing with Tyler Perry and his wanting to give this housing to Meghan and Harry when they came over to California, giving them a place to stay, talking about how they've got all these issues with the royal family and how they wanted to cut them off from their security and, you know, how they were treating them. His whole vibe about the royals was so negative in that Netflix documentary, so negative.
This woman was abused. To use the institution to try and do all the things that a batterer would do, like, oh, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut off the money. We're gonna not leave you security. We're gonna do all those things to make you comply and come back.
He needs to see, from what has come out about Meghan giving the address out to the paparazzis, she was the source, remember my last video? Well, let's just think about Tyler Perry and his whole conundrum and how he is now going to be called out and looked at as somebody who is just stuck his foot in his mouth over some stupidness because he believed this woman. He believed her. This whole thing around black culture where people will believe you. If you're black and the white man has done something to you, they are going to believe you because that's just the way the white man is. Yes. What'd they do to you, Miss Meghan? Oh, I know they did it. I know they racist. When Meghan was saying all of these things, he was like feeling it. Yeah, I know. All the while looking at a woman who was lying in his face the whole time. Girlfriend lying out the side of her face everywhere. Lies everywhere. And it comes out that she is the one who gave the address to the paparazzi. She's the one that is the culprit in all of this. Well, Mr. Perry is thinking it's the white people, the royals, the racist. Why is it that we can't look at someone in their character, the way they behave, what they do, their actions, and look at that person that way rather than the color of their skin? Because that's all Tyler Perry did. That's all he did. He just had to see a woman that had a black mama, and he knew whatever that woman said to him, he was going to believe it. And now what do we have? He sees she was the source for them being hounded. And just a side note about the whole hounding and wanting to get their picture and the security and everything. Don't you think she's kind of heightened that by hiding her children? Like she's creating this allure because no one hardly ever sees these children. But we have with Catherine and William, their children are out there, photos everywhere. And hey, you know, a photo is here, a photo there. It's no big deal. But Meghan is creating a big deal behind her children because she knows that she can get more money for the photos of her children if she limits their exposure. And just like getting their photo in the car that night in New York, just like I said before, they just came from an event. What is the big deal about getting their photo when they're leaving and out in a vehicle? There's nothing spectacular that they're doing that would make it sensational for someone to want to get their picture driving in New York City. Like, what was the big hoopla? She's creating her hype and she's lying about what is actually happening. She's creating the drama. And this is somebody who is so sick and twisted in their head. You have to be cautious. And this is why whatever happens with this marriage and what is going down with Harry, I'm going to tell you this right now. It is not going to end well for this couple. Now, what else is going on? Well, it looks like the Biden administration is not releasing, or they're going to have to really be more aggressive, the Heritage Foundation, to get this visa application of Harry revealed, because they're not going to release it. The protection around Harry and this current administration is something that Harry has in his pocket, but how far will that go, considering there's an election going to be coming up soon in the next few years? And at some point it will happen. You can't hide forever under one administration because, you know, we have the turnover. And if, let's say Biden does win another 4 years, well, then after that, that's only 4 years. And that's the last time he can run. So when there is a Republican in the office, of the United States, like the next Republican, you rest assured that lawyer from the Heritage Foundation, oh yeah, he gonna be on it. So this week, the DHS rejected the request of the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, to expedite the Freedom of Information Act request seeking to get his immigration records. And this is what they cite as the reason. They wrote, to the extent of this records that exist, this office does not find a public interest in disclosure sufficient to override the subject's privacy interests. Really? Have you not turned on YouTube? Have you not listened to the news? The interest, the public's interest around what is going on with the news making that Meghan keeps putting out into the world. Like, she's putting the information out there. The PR, the whole machine behind Harry and Meghan is making sure that they're in the news constantly. So there is definitely a public interest. So it's just amazing that you can say this as a reason when we know that's not a reason. So the Heritage Foundation's lawyer, Samuel Dewey, he slammed the decision to stonewall its request, saying it shows an appalling lack of transparency. He said, we expected to have a fight every step of this case in federal court and will continue to press for transparency, accountability for the American people. So he went on to say that considering that they probably thought, yeah, they're not going to allow it, but they are prepared to continue to fight this all the way. Harry, you best be sweating behind your ears, behind your eyeballs, in between your toes, everything sweat, because this man is coming after you. He ain't letting up. He's going to do it all the way. And that right there just tells you, oh yeah, something's going on here, because there's no reason why they would put up such a fight to allow this to be public knowledge unless there was something there. And there is something there. So we know that we have the King's birthday is coming up, and there's going to be another celebration. And what do you think Suits, the show that Meghan was on, is going to do as they get ready to release complete series of Suits? They want to launch it on the same day as the King's birthday celebration. Now, I can imagine that this is probably being done because what happened when Archie's birthday came up and the King had his coronation? Yeah, it was on the same day as Archie's birthday. And so you can imagine this may make him very upset, even Harry to that extent. And this is like their little subtle payback, their little dig. They are working to make a controversy so that they can get in the news around the time of the release of this series so that people can be talking about this, knowing that there is a conflict, the fighting, you get it. This is what is happening. And who knows, maybe Meghan has something to do with it. Maybe she didn't. Or maybe the producers are just taking full advantage of the opportunity to make a something out of really nothing. And that's probably what is happening. I don't think that she's conniving with the producers of that show, because I just don't think they really are feeling her like this. But they are feeling the opportunity to get their release of their series in the news. And I think that's what's happening. We know Spotify, they're cutting ties with Meghan, with Archewell. And that's the article that I'm going to be speaking with you today about, because I find it just so appalling that the waste of money, the lack of really trying to bring opportunity to people that have real talent is overlooked for the sake of someone that has a name that's popular. And that's what we have with Harry and Meghan. They are no talent, dull people who simply have a position of privilege based on the work, the history, the traditions of a country. And because they are tied to this, they suddenly have this big it factor with no talent. Now, the only way Harry and Meghan can begin to have somewhat of a talent is to use the position of social media and the times that we are living in, similar to the Kardashians, is to open up your life into a book. Open up what you do every day. Open up how you two are having conflicts. You're having issues. That is what people want to see. But because they want to make their own lives so secretive and focus their attention on doing something, they're never going to make the money that they want to make, because they don't have talent. They don't have something that gives them value that they can generate. And this is why Harry's book did well. This is why the Netflix did well. It's because they were trashing the royal family. Archetypes, talking about live to learn, the things that you're doing outside of bad mouthing the royals is very boring. Wah, 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 wah. Only thing that they have that gives them value is talking about the royals, creating dirt and gossip and being very conniving. They've mutually agreed to part ways and are proud of the series that they made with Archewell. If that ain't some corporate sideways talking mumbo jumbo, I don't know what is. Because if you feel that you are proud of what you have done with this couple, you are really proud. Wouldn't you want to continue the series? Because it was just, ooh, we proud. We love it. It's great. No. That's just how you talk when you're not happy and you want to still put a smile on your face. You kind of say something, I don't like you. Your series sucked. It cost us a lot of money. People losing their jobs because of you. They're losing their jobs because of our poor decisions, because you wanted so much money and we were just so stupid to want to pay you all that money. But we still like you. We're very proud of what we did with you. Yes, it was nice. No, you got issues and they're just saying it in a way that makes it not look as ugly as it is. A lot of hardship is happening and you just can't have someone from a foreign country come over to America, feed you a bunch of gobbledygook, and you fall for a hook, line, and sinker like Tyler Perry did, like Spotify did. Gayle King, Oprah, all these others. We have not heard the Obamas say anything, but we have seen how they are taking to Meghan by not really associating themselves with her. And because there are not people like the Obamas coming out and saying that they're appalled at her behavior, how she treated the king and how she treated the queen. And they're not saying anything to give people a clue that, this girl is bad news. And the people that have fallen for it are going to learn the hard way, just like Tyler Perry has learned the hard way. Now, we know that they signed this deal with Netflix, and the only thing is that there's been talk that the Heart of Invictus documentary that they were filming has been canceled, and then I hear reports that it's not been canceled. Well, there's also reports now that Harry and Meghan are looking to do a documentary about Princess Diana. Yes. They're looking to do a documentary about Princess Diana because this is what the Netflix people want. And so we'll have to wait and see. And they said they'd never bash the royals again. Well, I think if you're going to talk about Diana, we know she was a very controversial figure. And you're just going to be right back to bashing the royals if you do decide to do a documentary about Princess Diana. Let's just face it. So another lie. If they end up doing this documentary, we'll have to wait and see, but I bet they do it. I'm sure they will because they need the money. All right. That's all I have for this one. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see ya in the next one. Peace.